Okay, you've bought yourself a Thrustmaster setup. You want to get playing quick. First thing you'd be thinking is, should I install the target software? No, do not. It is an absolute buggy mess. There are much easier ways to get these sticks working in Star Citizen, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, once you've got to the main menu, you simply go to the options screen. We're going to be going straight to Keybinds, and at the bottom, make sure that you've got it set to flight, not on foot, on flight. We're interested in flying ships, that's what we want to do. And go to Advanced Controls, Customization. In here you'll see there's all the different options, thousands, hundreds of options it feels like. But what you'll need to do is go to Control Profiles, because Star Citizen has inbuilt profiles for many popular joysticks. Something you might want to do if you are switching between profiles is to clear them. But if you scroll down a little bit further past the Warthog and SciTech settings, you'll find the Thrustmaster. The dual, if you've got two sticks, the right-handed, which I use mostly, and the right-handed with throttle. So you choose the sticks you have from this list. So for example, I'm going to choose right-handed in this case. And all you need to do is, on the left you'll see keyboard, mouse, joystick. Don't have to worry about keyboard and mouse, unless you're doing something fancy. But for the joystick, just use that to select the one you want, and then hit load. And that will load the profile for that stick that Star Citizen thinks is the best. It's not the greatest one, you can customize it, but that's it. You now have a stick set up. If you had dual sticks, you would need to go into this configuration and tell it which one's your first stick and which one's your second stick. And again, it would appear there if I had another one plugged in. And then you just hit the load button and you'd be good to go. Now before I proceed, anybody who is using a stick with the TWCS throttle for Thrustmaster, you may find you're experiencing some problems with it where it just will not behave correctly. And that's because Star Citizen as default sets up in a very bizarre way and just thinks it's a forward throttle only, whereas what you may want to do is have the throttle pulled back for reverse, forward for forward. So what you'd need to do is you'd need to set it up as normal. Oops, I've gone into the wrong settings there. We'll just go back through again. And again, scroll down, choose the correct setup you have. In this case I do have one of the throttles hooked up right now. And we set the joystick, we set, scroll down, the throttle. And we load that profile. Now what you will experience in game is that sometimes they'll be back to front, or it will not function correctly. So I'm going to show you next how to set that. Okay, let's get this throttle configured correctly. So first of all, on the bottom right, just change your controller type, so joystick and HOTAS, and then choose the advanced. And then we're going to go to flight movement. If you scroll down, you'll notice the oddity here. We do have a Z-axis set for throttle forward, but we want the throttle to go push forward, pull back for reverse. So what we can do is remove throttle forward. We can unbind with a right click, that will blank it out. Then we can go to throttle forward back and double click to set that to an axis. So you double click and then push forward on your throttle, and that's now been set. You'll now find in game that will actually work as a forward and reverse. One of the things you may experience is that the throttle forward isn't forward and back isn't back, they're back to front. So what you may have to do is, again, in the bottom right hand corner, make sure you've selected the correct device. In this case, because it's a throttle, it's HOTAS 2, because it's a second device, and then go to inversion settings. And then if you go into flight, and then flight movement, there's a variety of settings you can reverse. So if they are reversed, you can unreverse them by changing one of these between no and yes. So in this case, you can see there, if I switch that over, it will resolve the issue.